Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into round number 9 of the Ride365.com Nationals, powered by VersusPC.com and MX Simulator, the Pro National Championship. My name is Kellen Brauer here for Start Your Systems TV. I'm going to be here for the next 3 or so hours bringing you guys all this intense action of professional gaming right here on this very channel. You don't even have to touch anything except maybe to refresh every once in a while in case your stream drops or something. I don't know. It's been pretty good all year long, but sometimes it falters. But we are at Washougal tonight, and just going to check real quick that we're up and live, and it looks like we are. Yes, we are. Good to go. So hello, everyone. What's going on tonight? Get chat going here in a minute and see what everybody's doing. We got the 250 consolation race on the track right now, so we'll jump in and check that out in a minute. But here is the Washougal track, which we'll be checking out for round number 9 here tonight. Almost to the closing stages of the season. We're in the last 4 rounds, and the 250 championship currently looks just a little bit like this. This is where we stand right now. It's not exactly this way, as we have not completely put all of the results in yet. I think it's still missing one moto result, but Colton Mitchell's still leading this thing, and we'll see him with the red backgrounds on his Prime Designs Honda tonight on the number 10 machine. Sean Klein, the rookie, having a incredible year, putting together several great motos, and he's not too far back in the championship standings. Really only is the last hope, if you will, standing in the way of Colton Mitchell on his way to this championship. Behind that, Jordan Moxley comes in third. He is the only other rider over the 200-point mark. You got Russ Chapman, Brock Pearson, defending champion Jared Seidhoff. We saw him move up to the 450 class last week. We also got Walter Gebhardt, Jeremy Siebold, Jeremy Smith, and Jeremy Cohenauer all inside of the top 10. Jeremy Smith, we saw last time out actually win at Millville. Not too sure if we will see him again tonight. I assume we will, since he will probably not be racing the Pro National at Washougal in real life. But that is the current look at your 250 standings. A lot of people asking to see the updated standings before these streams get underway. So there you go. Right off the bat, we're hitting it hot and heavy with what everybody's doing and how they're doing in the championship. And this is what's going on right now in the consolation race. The top 4 will transfer out of this one into the motos later on this evening. Well, should say later on this evening. Pretty much in the next 10 minutes will we get 250 Moto 1 underway. So if you're just watching the playback right now and you want to skip ahead a little bit, just go about 10 minutes. You'll probably hit the start of the first 250 Moto. But Dylan Copeland is leading this thing, and that is good for him. He just needs to be inside of the top 4, and he will go on through. He's got Reno Brennan giving chase, who oftentimes finds himself in these consolation races, and he's repping a 125 this week. So good to see some guys trying out the 125. Of course, the 125 Dream Race also going to happen in Washougal in real life this weekend. Very cool event, so if you're there in real life, you'll get a chance to see that. Jack Gatland, Generate MX, is in third right now. I believe this is actually possibly going to be his first ever qualification into the motos, if he can stay where he is right now, running in third. Receiving some pressure from AJ Green, who almost went over the bars right there. But these guys seem to have a nice little gap over Ben Toy. Toy has Mahan behind him, Dale Mullins, Steven Azarkowicz, Ashton Rakovsky, Eli Block. Also buried back here, Lysander Bigwood, Ryan Larkins, Josh Williams, Parker Allen, Logan Heagney, lots of guys, Clay Alfrey. We had about 15 guys start this consolation race, so good healthy turnout still in the series, and a good little healthy battle going on up front. Yo, what's up, Riley 2 times joining us in the chat. Of course, you guys watching the playback on YouTube perhaps right now, you guys can always watch live on twitch.tv/StartYourSystemsTV. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook to stay updated with any postings for the live events coming up, or any videos that we may also post, or any just random fun things we also like to post too. It's usually a good time to follow us on social media because we do some cool stuff. But it's usually how you know when we're going to be streaming. Obviously, right now, it's pretty standard to know since it's every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, except for the off weeks in motocross. We are streaming these pro races. Isaiah Dickerson jumping in. Chat is going to be off the chain tonight. Stoked for it. Stoked for this race, really. It's a good one so far. This consolation race going on right now as Jack Gatlin hits the deck. And Reno Brennan is going to make the pass back. We should have the one and only Chris Riesenberg, Race Tech's own Chris Riesenberg, joining us at some point during the evening. He is possibly not going to make it in for 250s, but we will see. Jack Gatland and now Ben Toy in a transfer, so AJ Green has gone backwards. Gatland, meanwhile, under pressure from Ben Toy. You're going to see these guys sending it. And I like it. This consolation race has enough people in it that there's actually going to perhaps be a battle for this last transfer spot. This is essentially what you would call your last chance qualifier, the LCQ races in Supercross, where these guys have yet to make it into the main event, or the motos, and need to actually race their way in, whereas the other 36 gentlemen who are set to go and will be lining up for 250 Moto 1 here in just a moment have already qualified their way in on time. These guys just missed the cut of the Fast 36 and are trying to race their way in through this consolation race. Ooh, not sure what you're saying. Oh, consolation.yes apparently leads to a time order cable link. No idea. Meanwhile, Copeland has taken the white flag. Copeland is not really I wouldn't call him a local of this track, but he's definitely a lot closer to it than I am, that's for sure, being from NorCal. Obviously, Hangtown would be his home race, but I'm 80% sure he has raced at Washougal in real life before, so maybe a little real-life track knowledge helping out with this consolation race win, or possible win, because he hasn't won it yet. But national number 94, obviously you kind of would expect him to be in the moto since he's got a double-digit number. Behind that, this battle still continues on, and now Ben Toy has gone backwards. Dale Mullins is up into the final transfer spot. So Mullins on the 214 right there, trying to get around Jack Gatland. Generate MX on the Husky here. So we'll talk a little bit about it as we get into the program. And like I said, we will have Chris Riesenberg on to talk about this a little bit more and what this might mean for nationals. But for those of you that pretty much actively follow what goes on in MX Simulator, the biggest news of this week is finally the much awaited, after pretty much 10 years of this game's existence, online erode, which means track deformation. Online erode is here, and it's not really a perfect mesh. It still is pretty taxing on computers, and that's why you will not see it in nationals this year as they try to work on optimizing it. But online erode is going to be a game changer for this this type of racing for sure. A lot of these guys practice so hard on these tracks, get so used to all the different bumps and ruts on the track that they're not going to know what hits them when the track actually changes every lap. That's going to be exciting times as we move into the off-season. Expect some off-season races to maybe implement the track deformation. See what that's like. How about that Oppo wood from Dylan Copeland? That was sweet. But again, that was kind of the big news of the week. We will obviously do some videos of it on the SYS YouTube channel. But you can also go out and try it yourself. Obviously, you just have to download the newest snapshot, which is in the general discussion part of the MX Simulator forums. Try to get it figured out yourself. There is a server up already, I believe, at the stock tracks and the stock Supercross tracks that JLV put up. But coming to the line, here comes Copeland, whooping his way through the hoopties all the way to the line, and the 94 machine is going through to the motos. It looks like he will be joined by at least Reno Brennan, Jack Gatland getting out of shape back there, but I think he's going to make it too. Might be the first time he's made it. Oh, just hang on there, Jack. And Ben Toy gets out of shape, and the 751 of AJ Green was sending it, but he is on the ground. He will not go through, but Ben Toy will make it. Steven Azarkowicz also going to miss out. Dale Mullins, Ryan Larkins, Josh Williams, Logan Heagney, Parker Allen, Ryan Mahan. That's kind of a big hit. Career number 37, Ryan Mahan, Ashton Rakovsky, Eli Block, Lysander Bigwood, and Clay Alfrey all missing out. So we'll wait for cuts to come in here and see exactly what happens, but that is essentially the consolation race in the books at Washougal for the 250 class. Give me one quick second and I will be able to read you guys off the top qualifying times for this week in the 250 class as we jump into 250 Moto 1 coming up here in just a second. Again, round 9 of the 2017 Ride365.com Nationals powered by Versus PC at Washougal. Now qualifying times are in, and officially fastest qualifier once again, who'd have guessed it, Colton Mitchell, 220.078. That was half a second faster than the one and only Kyle Robb, running a 220.5. Those guys were 3 whole seconds faster than the third fastest qualifier, Jordan Moxie, on a 223.8. And Isaiah Dickerson showing his face up inside of the top 5 with a 4th place qualifying effort for the rookie. Number 260 machine has a 224.1 to show, and behind that, Sean Klein, second in the championship standings, coming in 224.2. He is 5th in qualifying. They'll go to the line like that. Update on your last week's winner, Jeremy Smith. He was 8th fastest in qualifying today at 225.9, and looks like he is going to be here tonight, so that's going to be exciting to see him out there. And I assume that the field looks pretty similar to what I'm looking at, but AJ Green did not make it into the motos. He was 38th fastest. I didn't see Brett Powers in the consolation race. He was 37th fastest, so maybe one person missing from the top 36 tonight allowed Brett Powers into the Fast 36. And that is where we stand. So here we go, coming up to the 250 motos about to get underway here. We will, of course, have our Versus PC one to watch in this one, and I'm going to go ahead and run us down through the race tech keys to the race. And I think for this race, Washougal National, lots of different line choices, lots of big bumps and ruts and stuff like that. But the real key to this track, I think, is being able to find a good flow and just be able to click off good, consistent laps. This track can come up and bite you very quickly. It's very fast in some sections, also very slow in some sections too. But those fast sections, if you're not really attacking them correctly, can bite you quickly and send you on the ground. So obviously these guys need some good consistency and really just staying on the bike and running within a few seconds of each other lap times is going to be a real key to the moto here tonight. I also think, but this is pretty much common, that a good start is going to be key. Track does kind of funnel down through these first couple sections, so you might get funneled back and have to fight your way forward real quick if that is the case. But this is the parade lap for 250 Moto 1 underway, and you can see all the riders that are in this one. Devin Ryan, Jonathan Hughes, Dakota French, whole list of different names out there. And just because I saw him actually coming back this week and we haven't seen him racing for a few weeks, I'm going to go with Daniel Mills on the DRT machine as our Versus PC one to watch in this first moto, the 31 of Danny Boy. Good to see him back racing. And I'm sure he's going to do a little bit of damage. So we'll see how that plays out for D Mills. Oh boy, where is your championship leader? There is the number 10 machine of Colton Mitchell doing an epic takeout of, that was either Silic, Matt Agate maybe, I don't know, 130. Oh, that was Michael Boytendijk. Epic takeout down the hill of Colton Mitchell. Fortunately, you do not get injured in this game, or else Colton Mitchell might have been out for the season with that kind of a crash. Again, this is just the parade lap for these guys right now, being dominated by Isaiah Dickerson. So I'm glad to have you guys joining us here tonight. Round number 9 of this championship. 250 class action just about set to get underway here from Washougal. And as always, in the comments in chat, be sure to let us know what you want to see, what's going on. Onboard action, anyone in the field that might be having some issues that we haven't touched on. We always try to keep up to date with what's going on in chat. So again, like I said, super glad to have you guys with us, making it a lot more entertaining than if I was just talking to an empty room. But who have you guys got? I'm going to ask you guys. Let's open it up to the chat. Who is going to win this first moto here at Washougal? The teammates, Prime Design Graphics teammates, Colton Mitchell, Kyle Robb, so fast in qualifying, over 3 seconds faster than the next guy. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be the fastest here in the race, as times will drop a little bit, of course. So we'll see what happens. On the start, though, I'm going to take a look at the 74 machine of Sean Klein. He is down the middle inside of the gate. We're looking at the inside 20 gates with Colton Mitchell down the far inside. That 30-second board is sideways, and we are set to go. And Washougal, and the gate is down. Klein with a pretty good jump. The inside also got a good jump, but he got squeezed really bad. And the 134 of Jonathan Hughes is going to be the one to, I thought, rip the whole shot, but I cannot get to the front right now. Instead, it is Jordan Moxie, his countryman. The 57 machine comes out with the early lead. He's got the 66 of Carlo, the 4 of Smith, then Hughesy on the 134 right behind that. Hughes was into the corner first. Obviously did not quite see what happened there. But Moxie leads the way. He was your third fastest qualifier, and I did not see a single speck of any of the fastest 2 qualifiers running right at the sharp end of the field, so they may have been down in some first corner carnage there. Carlo going after Moxie for the lead. He's going to try to swing around the outside here. Might work. He's got a good drive. Oh, but he's into the hay bales, and he's up and over the bars. And down on the first lap is the last thing you want to have happen to you. There is the first sign of Colton Mitchell, so he's in about 6th. As Moxie leads away from Hughes. We got a British 1-2 right now. All right, I got a request to spec Chase over the triple. He is going to throw it stupid. I'm assuming he means Chase Donovan. And Chase Donovan is buried in the field somewhere. This is really like an early lap through the field. Brett Powers on the ground right there. Here is Chase Donovan. He is in pretty much about last. Yeah, he's coming through way here at the back. So Chase Donovan said he's going to get stupid on the triple. I think this is the triple he was talking about. And he did not get stupid, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing looking at a guy that is not getting backwards. All right, and going down back there, your points leader, Colton Mitchell, coming to the line to complete lap 1. He is not on the racetrack. He's getting passed by a myriad of guys. Gets on the track right with a couple. Well, Adrian Wilson just went down, and that is the 211 of Harry White, or 210 rather, of Harry White on the ground. So things kicking off early as Moxie leads the way here. And Hughes must have gone down, or at least had a tip over, because Moxie has a pretty nice gap to work with here. And these two have already kind of gapped themselves from the rest of the field right now. Jake Warden is up into the 3 spot here on the Moto Savage KTM. He's being chased by the number 4 of Jeremy Smith. And that is, Isaiah Dickerson, your 4th fastest qualifier right there in the mix. So they go almost 3 wide over the double back by the mechanics area, now through the turn 1 complex. Dickerson trying an outside line. He's going to get to the inside of Smith. Let's see if Smith is able to rail around the outside and keep it on, and he does. Dickerson all out of sorts. And we'll lose that spot to Zars, and here comes Colton Mitchell right behind him. Up the hill, Dickerson gets a good drive and works his way back around Zars for the time being. So he got a good drive up that hill. And Zars might lose another spot to Mitchell, who's flying down the inside here. They're going to head down these double drop-offs into one of the lowest parts of the back section of the track. Zars around the outside will lose that spot. Colton Mitchell goes through, and Jonathan Hughes must have made a mistake. He's now behind Isaiah Dickerson, and Colton Mitchell is right on his tail. Happy birthday to the one and only Jake Rose in chat. Apparently it is his birthday today. How old are you? I'm going to guess 20. That's a guess. Hughes and Mitchell, though, going at it over the triple. And for the time being, Hughes has held on. Jake Rose is 19 today. I was 1 off. So close. Mitchell not able to make the pass just yet on Hughes. Meanwhile, Dickerson down. I saw him jump off the track, and he clipped that hay bale on the landing. And, oh, that was another big crash. That's Tyler Lewis, who just got all kinds of swapped out. And he's going to lose at least 5 good spots right there. So let's reset things here for just a second. We got Moxie leading this thing. He's got a healthy gap now. Jeremy Smith is up into second, but he's a good 12, 13 seconds adrift. So Smith has gotten around Warden on the 237, and they are still going at it. This is a good ride for Warden so far. First time we've seen him really running right at the sharp end. Almost clipped a SpongeBob right there, missed a timing gate. He's running in third. Meanwhile, that battle for fourth is still on. Hughes versus Mitchell. Hughes riding a fantastic defensive race so far. Because Mitchell, you would think with the speed he has on this track that it wouldn't be too tough for him to blow around Hughes, but hasn't quite got it done yet. We got dualies in the scrubbage department, and Mitchell's got a better drive up the hill, but Hughes is trying to fight back. They're still almost side by side over the top of Horsepower Hill. But Mitchell is able to slot into that 4 spot now. Let's see how quickly he can perhaps gap his lead over Hughes. Get away a little bit quickly. Try to move on to the next guy, which would be Jake Warden on the 237, who you saw just then disappear on the bottom of your screen. Shooting back down into the middle portion of the track here. You got the switchbacks, and you drop back down the hill one last time into basically like the flat land at Washougal. Like there's like a real kind of flattish meadow at the bottom of all these hills, and they've built some of the track onto that, but then you turn around and go right back up into the hills into probably one of my favorite parts of the track, this sweeping section through the trees, and then up to the big sky shot step up where people get all kinds of whipped out every year. And in Sim, we saw Copeland already get backwards on it in the Consi. We'll see if these guys can get a little bit more gnarly as the race goes on, of course. All right, well, we have got a possible corner double jumpage out of Colton Mitchell in the chat. I still can't believe that anybody's doing that. So let's see Mitchell through the whoops. He goes 3 in. I think he 3s again, maybe quads out. There's definitely at least a 3 or 4 in there, a couple 3s or 4s. Basically 3 jumps the whoops. Mitchell already, like I said, has gapped himself from Jonathan Hughes and is going after Jake Warden. So he got a good start, and this is kind of what I expected to see out of him if he was able to get a good start. Oh my goodness, Jake Warden sending it off the track. Didn't lose too much time. Fortunately, those banners don't have any collisions. So let's see how Warden, the rookie in the series, can respond to the pressure of the number 10 of Colton Mitchell behind him. Warden putting in his absolute best ride of the season. And he's getting naughty going up Horsepower Hill. He's throwing some serious scrubs. Mitchell's getting great drives all the way up the hill. He gained a lot of time from the bottom to the top. He'll actually go on board with the 10 machine now. Did a 228.7 last time by, so 8 seconds off of his qualifying pace, but still running a very tremendous pace here early on. Taking a look at the map real quick, we must have had an issue for your race leader Jordan Moxie, as his lead is down to maybe a second or 2 over Jeremy Smith. Those two going off the drop down right in front of us. You can see them both in the switchbacks actually. Moxie just leaving as Smith kind of working his way through it. Oh, Mitchell loses the front end, and he is off the bike in the switchbacks. And there goes his closest championship combatant, Sean Klein. Sean Klein goes through into 4th. So Klein needs to make up points on Mitchell in this championship. And that is a good way to start right there. Take advantage of a mistake. Mitchell loses the front end trying to go tight through the switchbacks. Somebody says he's doing the turning double. I can't tell what the turning double is. If it's that jump, which is going to be crazy. You'll see the 450 guys maybe get over that. Or is it you go over this road jump here, down into the back corner, over this tabletop again. And then last year, it was actually not terribly hard to do this big line where you table down the hill right here and then kind of swoop down and jump across the track and double all the way down into that corner. We just saw Jake Warden getting up from a crash, so he's back to the 5 spot now. But not sure which one chat is talking about. I haven't had too much time to actually play the track, and I know I definitely cannot hit any of those big lines. Meanwhile, Moxie has actually made that mistake, like I mentioned, so he's about to come under attack here from Jeremy Smith. We'll go on board with Smith, who also just ran a 2:28.5, so matching the early lap times that Colton Mitchell was throwing down. 1.8 seconds is the gap, but obviously it's not too big of a gap. It just extended after Smith made a small mistake. But let's see. Oh, I was hoping we get a good onboard shot. Smith up horsepower hill. Let's take a listen. Interesting to see Smith third gear all the way up the hill. Smith keeping things relatively close to Moxie right now, but Moxie's doing a pretty good job holding steady. Got a good start. Pulled away early on. Hughes, who was in second, crashed. Then Moxie had a pretty sizable lead, and then Moxie himself must have also had a crash, because now Smith obviously is right on his tail and maybe has a good shot at going for the lead here. The battle is on out front at Washougal, and a case of the double, or of the triple for Moxie. Smith cuts around the outside, takes the lead momentarily. Let's see if Moxie gets a good drive up the hill, but he's going to have to let off because Smith is shutting the door into the road jump. They both have a little double whippage, and now Moxie's going to try an inside line to try to hold on to the lead. He's just barely going to miss out, but the battle is still on. Coming down the hill, let's see if Moxie maybe sends something. I think he's content with just kind of trying to check in here. Maybe latch on to Smith and see if Smith maybe makes a mistake, which it happens, but it is kind of rare. Smith usually very solid. Moxie back down the inside, though. He's going to try to get the lead back. And through the whoops before the finish, Smith has a little better line, and he will hold that off. Good on Moxie not to cut the line off completely. Give Smith some room. And a great battle here at Washougal. We are 12 minutes into this thing. Moto number 1 of the 250 class, and ooh, big mistake for Smith. He might lose the lead here again, and he will. Moxie around the outside. Smith playing nice there. Let him have the line into the corner. Now Smith back down the inside. Moxie's going to try to get a drive, and they're still side-by-side dualies on the tabletop. Heading back into the midsection of the track, and now crossover for Moxie. He is trying to carry the momentum. He's almost back alongside. Now down by the mechanics area. These two have been battling for nearly a half a lap at this point. Moxie is not done yet. He is still trying to fight back. Smith has answered the call a couple times now. Obviously took the lead away, and then Moxie fought back about a couple times, got the lead back, then swung wide in a corner. Smith down the inside was able to grab it back all the way up to the top of Horsepower Hill, and they're still very close. Oh, Moxie! Oh, he almost saved it. It looked like he clipped a SpongeBob there at the top of the hill and almost backflipped his way into landing it. Wow, Sean Klein jumped to the top of the hill, must not have known that Moxie was down, and almost hit him. But now the 74 machine is into second. Points, points, points. More points for Sean Klein. Moxie is going to come under attack, though, from your championship leader, Colton Mitchell. Oh, Mitchell up and over the bars. Lost the front end again. It's the second time in the last 5 or so minutes we've seen him go right up and over a rut and lose the front end. And now Jonathan Hughes finds his way back into this battle. Hughes trying to tuck to the far inside lines, but actually lost some ground. Got hung up on that second inside rut, kind of clipped his foot peg, and then it stalled him out. So now Mitchell has some breathing room. Further back, we have Jack Zarz running inside of the top 10 still, so a really good ride for the rookie. He was fantastic in Supercross earlier this year, but had a abysmal start to his outdoor campaign. Now he seems like he's turned it around a little bit. Then we find Jake Warden in a battle with Kyle Robb and Alex Carlos. So Kyle Robb, your second fastest qualifier. Mixing it up here with the 250 guys again. He switches back and forth quite often between 250 and 450 class. Hasn't really been in it for a championship since winning the 2015 West Championship, I believe it was, or East Championship. Yeah, 2015 East Supercross champion. And Rob is the one nailing the big double around the corner. That is huge. Look at all the time he gained, and he loses it right as I say that. He loses the front end, loses all that time. Almost, well, it looks like he will lose 2 spots. Carlo down the inside, but Rob's going to jump in and, yeah, get everybody back. He just 3 jumps his way through the whoops, and back ahead he goes. That line is gnarly, though. Kyle Robb made it look pretty easily, and unfortunately could not get stopped in time to not just completely blow the outside rudder, else he would have gained a huge chunk of time. But it is Smith leading this thing now. We saw what he was able to do with the lead last week at Millville. Kind of hard to believe we can call Smith a veteran of this series, but he's been racing these MX Simulator Championships for going on 6 years now. It was almost, it's a little over 5 years ago now that he debuted, actually. It's middle of Supercross in 2012. Just one-off random race and finished second. And then the next race he raced after that was the Redbud National in 2012, and he won it. So Smith was one of the few guys to immediately be fantastic at the game. And it doesn't seem like he has really slowed down much since the beginning, that's for sure. Sean Klein has dropped back out of second, so just as soon as he got Moxie for second, he must have had a fall. And now he might be under attack from Colton Mitchell before long, so our 2 championship combatants might find themselves on the track here in a battle for third. Sounds like somebody just went down, or maybe not. You hear panic rev and then no noise, and sometimes you think somebody went down, that's for sure. So Klein and Mitchell, neither of them doing it. I want to take a look at Kyle Robb again and see if he is still doing this big line. He is right behind Jack Zars, so he might jump over him if he chooses to do it. He's kind of swinging wide, a little double jump here, and still might make the pass despite not doing it, but man, he carried a lot of momentum down that hill, and he will indeed make that pass on Jack Zars. And then he swings wide in the final corner, and he goes, that's got to be 4 in, 4 again, 3 out at least. Kyle Robb making things look awful simple here at Washougal. If only he could buy a start. Go ahead and go back on board with Colton Mitchell and take a look at this championship battle, which is now a battle for second as Moxie made another mistake. Or maybe that is Moxie. Nope, it's Klein. Mitchell a 2:25.2 last time by, resets his own personal best lap of the race. Not too sure if it is the fastest lap of the race. It might actually go to Kyle Robb, who seems to be storming through the field right now. But it is a darn fast lap, that is for sure. So I feel like this is the first real opportunity we've seen these two go at it here, Klein versus Mitchell, at least in the last couple weeks since they became championship rivals, if you will. We haven't really seen them go at each other too much. And finally, we might have a battle on our hands as Klein gets stood up in the rut, so he's going to lose that second spot to Mitchell. And just as I'm talking about perhaps seeing a battle, Klein done tips it over. So there goes that. Mitchell now back ahead of him and running quicker lap times, so I'd assume he might pull away here. I'm going to keep watching this battle between Kyle Robb and Jonathan Hughes, though. I'm going to watch one more time to see if Kyle does that gnarly line, and then we're going to do a lap through the field, which is one of my favorite segments. See if Rob is able to do this line again. He's swinging wide. Coming down, flying in, sends it, and smooth as butter. This time he is able to hold it in on the outside line. That is crazy. Someone said Mitchell just did the double. He is putting in a charge, and Smith seems to be making mistakes, so Smith might have an opportunity at this. We have 10 minutes plus a lap to go. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we are going to do a lap through the field coming up here in just a moment. This is going to be brought to you by the fine gentleman at Two Wheeler Graphics, Michael Wheeler, our favorite president and CEO of Race Factor Gaming. Owns the Two Wheeler Graphics company, and he puts a lot of stuff together, a lot of cool stuff together, so check them out if you need any graphical needs done. And this run through the field is going to be sponsored by Two Wheeler Graphics. So we will take an entire lap through the field, and hopefully a lead change doesn't happen, although it has happened. All right, so here we go. Lap through the field. This seems like a pretty good spot to look. There is Jeremy Smith, your leader on the number 4 TBR Suzuki. Whoops-a-daisies. This is a lapper, another lapper, and then your points leader, Colton Mitchell, on the number 10 has to avoid a downrider, number 144. Not sure who that is. Third place, Sean Klein on the 74 gets stood up by that lapper and goes down. Behind that, Kyle Robb just got around Jordan Moxie for 4th, so Robb into 4th, Moxie back to 5th. I think that's Isaiah Dickerson right there on the Husky in 6th, and Jonathan Hughes right there on the 134. Just keep on waiting. See who is coming through. This is 180 of Ben Toy. He is not with the lead group, so he must be a lap down. Moxie, Klein, Hughes, and then Isaiah Dickerson. So that's Dickerson right there, actually on the 260 and 7th. Then Jack Zars battling it out with Alex Carlo for 8th, 718 and number 66. Tyler Lewis should be next. And there he is on the Suzuki, with Ben Stieber giving chase and Jake Warden right behind that. Edward Mora for Evergood is chasing them. He is on the 48 right there. Here comes Chase Donovan and Phil Bull chasing him, and then James Schuler right behind that. And Devin Ryan, Michael Boytendijk, and our Versus PC one to watch, Daniel Mills, will be rounding out the top 20 as soon as we see him. And he's second now. There he is. There he is not. That is not Daniel Mills. That is Daniel Mills on the number 31 machine, and he is being chased by Harry White on the 210. That's for the final points-paying position. And Thomas Silic coming along. A couple guys in there, Austin Eklund. So now we're a little bit deeper into the non-point scoring finishers as they would run right now. But I think we're about to see our leader come back through any second now. Long lap times here at Washougal, so this lap through the field is definitely a long one, but Jeremy Smith is still leading this thing. Oh, nope, not quite there yet. That is Reno Brennan, 422 on the 125 Suzuki. Another lapper, 249, and then your race leader, Jeremy Smith, coming back around. That has been a lap through the field, brought to you by Two Wheelers Graphics. So Smith is still kind of cruising with the lead, although Mitchell is trying to put in a charge, and now his teammate Kyle Robb, second fastest qualifier, is up to 3rd place. So Robb's looking strong. Behind that, Moxie and Klein set to do some battle. Moxie swinging around the outside. Klein still trying to work the inside, but remember, it's not but 3 laps ago that Klein crashed right there. He is actually going to make the pass on Moxie, though. So Klein and Moxie kind of locked in a little bit of a duel here, but Klein appears to be trying to go back to the front again. He needs to get to Colton Mitchell to make up as many points as he can, and he is about 12 seconds behind him right now, running in the 4 spot. Husey, Dickerson, Carlo, Seberg. Go back and find our versus PC one to watch in this one. Daniel Mills right here. Looks like he's made a couple passes since we last checked on him. He's gotten, well, he's still in front of Harry White. And, nope. Well, he's made 1 pass. He's up to 19th. So D Mills swinging on that DRT number 31. Looking pretty saucy as the versus PC one to watch, but he is the versus PC one on the ground right now. So he just tossed away a 19th place spot. I have a report in chat that Colton Mitchell may have gone down. Not too sure where that may have happened, but he is still in 2nd place. Kyle Robb is coming though. And this is your 2 fastest qualifiers finally linked up on the track here. Yes, Devin, I believe Chris is coming in to stream 450s. Might even be here late in 250s. Not too sure. I think he's doing something and just can't make it yet. All right, report from Alex Heckman in chat is that Colton Mitchell tried to send the corner double in an attempt to make up some time on Jeremy Smith and went down. Interestingly enough, he doesn't seem like he's that much farther behind Jeremy Smith. 18 seconds, I guess, so he was 12 seconds. Got a request to watch an onboard lap of Kyle Robb, and I think that's actually a fantastic idea. He is nicknamed Rider Rob. Don't ask why. That whole thing happened years ago. But he is trying to run down his teammate Colton Mitchell, and he actually holds the fastest lap of the race at a 2:23.4. In this section right here, we just may see guys sending it all the way to the rollers tonight, which I'm kind of excited to see. All right, let's see if Kyle Robb is still doing this big line at the bottom of the hill. He's trying to keep his teammate in sight. So he comes down the left side, kind of jumps off the track here, and then swings across, doubles, and then, oh, he's going over the bars. Yep, down he goes. He cased the very top of that jump, and he goes down. Mitchell must have gotten it in front of him, though, because it looked like Mitchell was nowhere near Robb when he sent that. So Mitchell is trying to run down Jeremy Smith, but we are 27 and some change minutes into this moto, and time is definitely running out. The real problem right now for our championship battle, that is watching Sean Klein continue to make mistakes. He just got back around Jonathan Hughes, so another valuable point in the championship, but he is watching more and more points slip away as Colton Mitchell is running second. So Klein hoping for better things to come. I think Jonathan Hughes just had a double fall-off crash. That is probably highly annoying. Isaiah Dickerson is putting in one of his best rides of the year so far. The somewhat controversial amateur rider earlier this year, now a rookie in the pro class, putting it inside of the top 10 here at Washougal in 250 Moto 1. So far he is holding off very nicely from Alex Carlo. Gap between Smith and Mitchell back down to 12 seconds, so you can see that Mitchell's definitely taking large chunks out of the lead to Jeremy Smith. But whether or not he has enough time is pretty debatable at this point. Yeah, just kind of replying to the Dickerson comments right now. It was just more of a... he was dominating the amateurs so much. He was, I think, perfect on the season and elected to race the High Point Pro National and qualified his way into the motos, started Moto 1 and rage quit that moto. So he got a DNF and then did not start the second moto and was requesting to get back into the amateur race on Sunday, which it's one or the other. You can only race one race a week. It's not like anybody with a B license or whatever can come race a pro race and then race their amateur class on Sunday. You have to pick one or the other, so he chose to race pro. And many people thought, from what I gathered, that he should be out of the amateur class anyway since he was so dominant. It was just a whole ordeal on the forums for about a week there. Meanwhile, Jeremy Smith did get back to the line before the time expired, and the Versus PC one to watch, Daniel Mills just threw dirty right next to him. He got upside down on that DRT machine. Smith is just so solid. You do not want to give this guy a good start because it is pretty hard to just flat out race him. But Mitchell is trying, that's for sure. Update down to about an 8-second lead according to Alex Heckman in chat. Let's be official with it. And yeah, 8-second lead. Good on Heckman, being spot on the money right there. 2:22.1 for Colton Mitchell last time around. That is now down into some qualifying lap gnarliness right there, that's for sure. Nobody on the 250F has ran a lap time under a 2:23 unless their name is Colton Mitchell or Kyle Robb. So he is in a very, 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 very elite group, and he's now doing it during the motos, which is just incredible. So I'm going to go on board with him and see how much more time he can chunk away from this lead before we hit the 2-lap board. It's actually kind of stretching back out a little bit. It seems like Smith has just about got his way through most of the lap traffic he was dealing with and has been stretching it out since we went on board with Mitchell. But I'm sure Mitchell gains about 3 seconds by doing that giant corner double. And this time I want to actually be on board with him if he decides to do it. So he comes screaming down the hill, stays on the left side of the track, pretty much lands off the track, and then pops this, and ooh, just landed smoother than probably he should have. Clipped the knuckle, and that was a close one. So he goes 4.43 and gains a big chunk of time, 2:27.2. Still 7 seconds back though, so he definitely had a rough middle section of the lap there. Smith looks like he is maybe kind of responding in some way to that added pressure. Did a 2:28.5 last time, so he actually lost a second overall, but still isn't losing as big of chunks of time as he was losing a few laps ago to Colton. But just think about that for a second. Jeremy Smith's best lap in this moto, 2:26. Colton Mitchell's ran a 2:22, and yet he's still, at this point, looking like he is not going to win the moto. And that just shows you how good Smith is with consistency. Gets a good start and just does not fall. Like, he just is so smooth, so consistent, does the same laps over and over again. And going back to our race tech keys to the moto, that's what we were kind of, or that's what I at least kind of hinted at. What I was talking about with that is just being able to run those laps over and over and over again. These guys are going to fall. We've seen Colton Mitchell had a few crashes this one. Kyle Robb has now crashed his way out of contention for that battle for second. So if you can run lap times that are within reason of what the leaders are doing and do them consistently, man, you're going to be a force to reckon with at the front of the field, and that is exactly what Jeremy Smith is doing. So enough of Smith and that. Let's go back and see. Klein is now up to 4th. And update from chat is that Moxie must have gone down somewhere. Did not see it on screen, obviously, but he is now back to 5th. Klein gaining a couple more championship points there, so valuable championship points. But right now, Mitchell is looking at a 4-point swing in the plus. Behind that, Hughes, Dickerson, Carlo is putting in a good, strong closing ride here in the end of the second, or at the end of the first moto, but in the end of the second half of this first moto, he's really come alive. It seemed like he was kind of struggling with consistency at the beginning. Had a good start, crashed about 7 corners in after starting in second, but has settled down and is now trying to put a charge onto Isaiah Dickerson here. So it's good to see Carlo putting things together a little bit. How about Chase Donovan? Man, oh man, when we first went on to him at the beginning of this moto, someone said he's going to get gnarly on the triple, and he was absolutely freaking buried in the pack. And right now he is looking solid. I think he's up to 9th right now. And that is a charge and a half for Donovan. This is probably one of his better motos of the year. Oh, and I jinxed him as he goes down, and Seberg is going to get around him. I think he's going to stay right there. So, yeah, he is 10th. That is crazy. Meanwhile, Jeremy Smith looks like he's trying to cruise this thing in, but Colton Mitchell is going to run this thing down to the wire. 5.4 seconds is the gap. He did a 2:26.8 last time by, so a little bit faster than his previous lap, and he's chunked away a couple more seconds. It was this middle sector, the last couple laps, that have really hurt Mitchell, but if he can get within 3-4 seconds of Smith coming down to the wire here, oh boy, you better watch out. And Smith is in some lapper trouble. He just worked around another lapper, and he's got one more, it looks like, to get through before he has clear track. 4.4 seconds is the gap. This is going to be crazy. Oh, and Mitchell slides it down, and that is maybe going to do it. We'll stay on board with him just in case something gnarly happens, but now Smith has worked around that second lapper going up to the road jump. Man, oh man, that would have been awesome to see if Mitchell could have made things really close at the end by doing that double, but unfortunately slides out right there. Let's see how much time he actually makes up. He enters the double, 6.8 seconds down, jumps it, 5. Only really gained a second. Meanwhile, Jeremy Smith is coming down to the line, and Jeremy Smith wins 250 Moto number 1 here at Washougal. Very solid, consistent ride. Just, man, I would love to see his consistency numbers after this one. That was ridiculous. Kyle Robb is coming down to the line. I thought that might have been Sean Klein on him, but it is actually Klein's teammate. I think that is Tyler Lewis? No, not Tyler Lewis. What's his name? Edward Mora. Edward Mora there. Yeah, Klein is not going to lose a spot or gain a spot, so he will finish 4th. That is that 4-point swing that we were talking about. Klein entering the championship, or entering this round of the championship, I think around 19, 20 points down, and just lost another 4 points to Colton Mitchell. And how about it? I'm talking about Alex Carlo and his charge through the field. He's now up to 6th. And it looks like he's going to stay there. No immediate pressure from behind. Dickerson is close. Let's see if Dickerson is gnarly enough to send this jump. Well, he's not going to send it with that kind of the line. So Carlo puts on a fantastic late race charge. Oh, Hughes and Dickerson battling it out behind that. Carlo is kind of out of shape in the whoops. Here comes Hughes. Almost got to Carlo. Carlo 6th, Hughes 7th, Dickerson 8th. Oh, and Seberg is off the track in 9th. So Donovan might get that spot coming to the line, and he gets it. Seberg is going to be 10th, so he lost a spot right there at the finish. Michael Buitendijk coming to the line in 11th. Devin Ryan looks like he's going to pick up 12th. Phil Bull, Steady Eddie here in 13th, and James Schuler's 14th. Jack Zarz is running up front early on. He is back to 15th. Silic 16th, a lap down. Our versus PC one to watch. Daniel Mills is disconnected, but he finished this one in 17th. Logan Leitzel was 18th. Jake Warden, after running up front, he was in 3rd for actually quite a while in this moto. He ends up 19th, so actually tossed the anchor over the edge of the boat. And Mora was 20th after this moto. So we are now just waiting for Schuler and Zars to finish this one up, and we'll have cuts. And here comes Zars down the line to the finish. And there are cuts. Let's see. Cuts not affecting anything. Still Jeremy Smith winning this first moto. And yeah, we're heading to Moto 2 on the other side of this commercial break. Don't touch that URL bar. We'll be right back with more action for the Ride365.com Nationals powered by Versus PC. RaceFactoryGaming.com would like to thank the following sponsors for their continued support. And we're back! Welcome back to the Ride365.com Nationals, powered by versus PC from Washougal. And 250 Moto number 1 is in the books. There is your 250 Moto number 1 winner, the number 4 of Jeremy Smith. Heading into Moto 2, of course, we're going to take a look at our versus PC one to watch. And because he recommended it, I'm going to go find him first and then pick him. Where is he? I must have missed him already. Yep, I did. No, I didn't. He's way down here. Well, Devin Davis told me I should pick Tyler Lewis as the versus PC one to watch, but I don't believe he finished that moto. There is your 250 Motocross Moto 2 lineup, though. So if we can't find Tyler Lewis in this second moto, I am just going to randomly pick Phil Bull as our versus PC one to watch. It is going to be either one of those two, but Tyler Lewis has got first dibs. So let's see what happens out of that. And in the first moto, we saw a big old hole shot out of, well, let's just take a look at Jeremy Smith. Jeremy Smith is in the middle-ish of the gate. Jonathan Hughes got the whole shot the first moto around. And it's time for 250 Moto 2 from Washougal. Let's go racing, and the gate is down. Another good start for Smith. A better start for Hughes. And boy, oh boy, he's done it again as he swings around and grabs that hole shot. He's got Devin Ryan right in the mix there. There's someone on the inside of number 72. That is Walter Gebhardt. So Gebhardt with a good start this time around. I think maybe Smith had gone down in the first couple of corners there. There's some kind of chaos going into that first corner. Oh, no, there he is. He's down the inside going up Horsepower Hill. And Sean Klein is up front, as is Colton Mitchell. Edward Mora's in the mix. Logan Leitzel and Tyler Lewis, our versus PC one to watch, is also up here. So kind of all of our main players from that first moto are running up at the front, and Jonathan Hughes is leading them all. Another big hole shot from the Englishman. It's got Devin Ryan on the 32 giving chase. Gebhardt trying to tuck in behind that. Silic with a mistake almost catches Klein out. Then Klein gets a cross rut and hits Smith and falls off the bike. I don't know how Smith got like monetarily affected by that. Just barely anything happened. And Klein ended up falling off the bike. Meanwhile, it looks like we have got Edward Mora and Colton Mitchell throwing down on the triple headed up the hill. And Mora's almost over the bars. He's trying to hold on around the outside and might just do it. He will. Mitchell could have maybe forced the issue a little bit there, but he did not want to get into that whole ordeal. But 1 and 2 in the first motos are currently battling it out here. Jeremy Smith, he's tilting the bars back around. Obviously, Mitchell not going to send the double on the first lap. He would have landed on about 3 guys. Oh, and your leader, Hughes, is down. He's just getting going, so now leading through the first lap, Walter Gebhardt. Devin Ryan must have copped up the lead real quick as Mitchell is down in the whoops. Mitchell cartwheeling his way to the line, and he is going to lose a bunch of spots. He was with Smith. He's going to get up right with Sean Klein. Well, actually behind him as Klein goes through, and here comes versus PC want to watch Tyler Lewis. So first we see Klein get cross-rutted, ends up going down, and then Mitchell, big mistake trying to send it through the rollers. Headed to the finish. Oh, Klein almost into the side of Chase Donovan again. Kind of surprised people are even using those outside lines right there. But some people are a little bit more comfortable doing other things. So Donovan gets passed by Klein. Meanwhile, that is Devin Ryan just getting back on the track. He must have had a crash himself. Now Mitchell trying to work his way up into this group. We got 4 riders in the air at once. They're going to track down Logan Leitzel. Your early race leader, Jonathan Hughes, is now behind Jeremy Smith. And Edward Mora just threw it going up the hill, going up Horsepower Hill, that is. But it may have cost him a little bit of traction, as now Smith is looking down the inside and all the way to the top of the hill. Smith is able to sneak down that inside and make the pass, and then Silic gets caught up on the rut inside. So he loses 3 spots just like that, and Smith gains another one. So Gebhardt leads, but this battle for second is raging on. Jeremy Smith, Edward Mora, Edward Mora and Jonathan Hughes. For some reason I keep getting Tyler Lewis and Edward Mora switched up, but they're on completely different bikes. It should be pretty simple. So Hughesy's trying to regroup from that crash, probably kicking himself a little bit. Had the lead. This time he actually held the whole shot too. The first moto looked like he got to the corner first, but something happened off screen that we missed or something, and he just was not coming through the second corner with the lead, that's for sure. He's about 4th or 5th coming through the second corner. And he's going to give Mora a chase here. Mora really has given a good fight so far to JS4 here. Down through the rollers to the finish. Mora's got a better line. He might make the pass, and he will. Just goes around Smith, no problem. So the 48 machine on the move right now. He moves up into the 2 spot around your Moto number 1 winner. I think Smith is maybe content with not pushing the pace, though, early on. He's already seen what Sean Klein and Colton Mitchell have done to themselves. So obviously he's got a little bit of room already to work with over those guys. Kyle Robb would be the next one to worry about, but Gebhardt nowhere to be seen in the first moto. Number 73 right here. Right now he is dominating so far in this second moto. 5 minutes in, he's got a big lead. We have lost. That is Edward Mora. Yeah, Mora was in second. He has gone backwards. He's cross jumping a little bit there. Colton Mitchell. So Mora went down. Smith now back into second. Mitchell giving chase now to Mora, and they're right behind Silic on the 428. Architect Yamaha. Up Horsepower Hill they go. Silic got a great drive. This battle is a good one, though. 3 riders all kind of locked together here. Mora definitely looks like he has got the speed to run with these guys, but so far it's been the crashes that have kind of hurt him. And again, second place early on, crashes out of it. Still in a pretty good spot, though, but look at Mitchell. Throw it down the inside, and he's down, up and over the bars. I thought that looked a little bit too fast, and it was. Mitchell blows the inside rut, loses another spot to Chase Donovan. And just gets going in front of Logan Leitzel, so Mitchell's going to have to kind of reset his mindset a little bit there. He's kind of pushing the envelope, and that is not going to help him championship-wise, while Sean Klein is ahead of him and starting to work his way towards the next man, which is Walter Gebhardt, who coughed up the lead. So Smith now to the front. Oh, Gebhardt went for the double, and he's down hard. So Sean Klein is going to go through into second, and Silic might go into third. He's going to get there just as Gebhardt gets going. Oh, Silic down, and he clips Edward Mora, an unsuspecting victim that just happened on the corner of our screen there. But Silic looked like he slid out and caught traction and then just T-boned Morris on the side in the middle of the corner from the outside, interestingly enough. Morris trying to get the spot back on Mitchell, but Mitchell was able to muster up enough drive to hold him off. Oof, all right, so resetting things a little bit here. It is Smith from Klein. They've got a good little gap now working over Gebhardt. Silic up to 4th, and Donovan just copped up 5th. So Mitchell now moves into the top 5 here. Donovan going to battle now with Edward Mora. I would be led to believe that Donovan's just content with a good start this time around. He was about 30th or 31st or so when we saw him first time through on the first lap of the moto. In the first moto, ended up 9th. So he had a great charge. Yes, indeed, Foster MX, we should have the one and only Race Tech's Chris Riesenberg joining us in the booth for the 450 motos. Might actually jump in here late in the 250 motos. He's roaming around somewhere. Of course, with all the big news about the online E-Road coming out this week, he's probably going to be the one who has his ear talked into the most about that, given that he has a lot to do with the workings of national tracks in this game and stuff like that. So we may see a whole new generation of sim coming upon us where you get tracks that have nothing on them, no ruts, no bumps, and it's just go hard for 30 minutes. And whatever happens, happens. That is unforeseen in this game. Hopefully it does work out the way we want it to. Meanwhile, Silic gets passed by Mitchell, who somehow kept it on the track right there. Looked like he was going off into the bales for a second, but keep it together. But although he goes off the track right there. So Mitchell from Silic, Mora off the track. And now Donovan giving chase behind that. Devin Ryan also in the mix. And our versus PC one to watch, Tyler Lewis. So we'll take a look at him for a minute as he tries to battle his teammate Devin Ryan here. Oh, that was your points leader, Mitchell. Mitchell down again and again. Kind of a sketchy way to re-enter the track. He just kind of cuts across all the ruts. Man, Mitchell not having a good time of it here in this moto. And another rider's down. That is Silic off the track. And Donovan was down in the whoop. So really, Mitchell didn't end up losing that much. And he got back around Devin Ryan. So Mitchell is already back up to 6th after crashing his way outside of the top 5 there. Oh, we've got a change for the lead, though. Klein to the front. Klein over Smith. This would be huge for Klein in the championship if he could somehow win this moto. We'll go on board with the number 4 here for a bit. 10 minutes into this thing, Klein running at the front of the field, and the top 3 seem to have broken away a bit, and Gebhardt is down, so now it's really just going to be the top 2. Man, they have a big lead. You can see on the map in the upper right-hand corner, the dot we're on board with is the red arrow. That is Jeremy Smith, and the green dot is your race leader. That is Sean Klein, and the next closest moving dot is Gebhardt, who just got up from a crash, but then behind that is a gaggle of riders in a mix of a battle there, but this battle for the lead is tightening up quickly. Just barely over a second in it right now as Smith is giving chase, trying to get Klein back for the lead and maybe go 1-1 here at Washougal, but Klein really badly wants a moto win to get the track rolling here. Try to make a championship run here coming into the last 3 rounds. At the very least, I'm sure Klein has got to be stoked on his rookie season here, his first full rookie season outdoors. Going to be interesting to see in the 450 classes coming up. You know, the difference between those guys doing that corner double. Who's doing it, who's not, how much time it's going to gain. This 250 class, it's pretty simple. It's either Colton Mitchell or Kyle Robb doing that corner jump. We haven't seen Klein attempt it, although I'm sure he's talented enough to do it and has probably gotten it a few times, but I think he's smart enough to realize that he should just kind of back it down, not push it too much. Only 39 guys starting this second moto, so we got a DNS somewhere. Yeah, 27 seconds back to 4th right now. And Klein is leading this thing. And you're looking at your leaderboard right now. No sign yet of Colton Mitchell. Outside of the top 10 now, he is 40 seconds back of your race leader. That's going to be a lot of time he's going to need to make up, but there is a fantastic battle going on back here. Look at all these guys locked together. Mitchell now at the kind of caboose of it all, but there's Boytendijk in here with Seaberg and Donovan all trying to track down Devin Ryan. We got a 4-rider train here, or really a 5-rider train, because at the back of that is Jonathan Hughes. And we know Hughesy's fast. He's been really quick here today. He gets stuck behind. That was Seaberg going down. Mitchell goes through. So that gap, or that battle, is kind of broken up a little bit. Donovan still giving chase here to Devin Ryan, wants a piece of him. Oh, but he almost goes down. Big swap and a nice save. Fortunate only to lose 1 spot. He would have lost at least 5 spots if he ended up actually crashing. Now Colton Mitchell's gotten back around Hughes. Hughes not giving up though. He's swinging way wide, so he's going to lose some time. And continues to have some issues. Now Donovan going to come under attack from your championship leader Colton Mitchell, who is trying to get things together. That was a rider down right there. That was maybe, well, it must have been, yeah, Thomas Sillick. Yeah, I thought it was. I was so confused there for a second. Sillick going backwards, lost another spot. Where is Kyle Robb? Here he is. Just outside of this battle, so I think he's 10th right now, is it? No, 14th. Man, we were farther back than I thought we were. Oh, Rob! Oh, I was going to say, if he didn't fall off the bike, I call hacks. Mitchell's still trying to work on Donovan and just can't quite make the pass. Jonathan Hughes sent the double and went off the track and then got back. You know what? That was probably could be classified as a poor track re-entry. So Colton Mitchell's gotten around Donovan. He's going after Sillick. And that is Mora on the ground. So really, these guys are kind of giving Colton Mitchell all these spots back right now. You'd think that he'd go behind these guys and actually have to pass him, but they're just really handing it to him by crashing. So let's settle things down again here. And in a moment, we're going to do another run through the field. This one will be brought to you by fine folks at BGFX, Bentley Graphics. Proudly sponsor our series here at RaceFactorGaming.com. We'll do a lap through the field. Sean Klein leads them through, but Jeremy Smith is still giving chase. So this battle for the lead is not over. And these guys seem like they have loosened up at the front a little bit. 34 seconds ahead of Jordan Moxey in third, so it's going to be down between them two to battle for this win. It will go to Jeremy Smith for the overall at this point, unless a catastrophe happens. A 1-2 will beat a 4-1. But you've got to believe he wants to go 1-1 here at Washougal. And Smith is really showing these kids how it's done. We've talked a lot about Colton Mitchell, who's still only in his really second full season competing in this game. And then Sean Klein, who was a fantastic amateur rider a year ago, made his debut at Unadilla last year, so he hasn't even made it a full season, as Unadilla will be next week. Not even a full season yet for Klein, and he's already in the midst of a championship battle. Meanwhile, Jeremy Smith has been through the ringer and then some. He has had his fair share of championship fights, including winning the 2013 and 2014 250 East and then West Supercross championships in respective order, as well as the 2013 250 Outdoor Championships. So Smith has been there, done that, and he's won several 450 Supercross main events and outdoor races. Sean Klein trying to show the veteran, though, how it's done. How these new kids on the block go hard. And here we are with our Bentley Graphics run through the field. Sean Klein, number 74, leads this thing. And then Jeremy Smith is in second. And let's just go ahead and wait for a long time before the next guy comes through. And that guy will be in third place. But it's just a long time. And when I say long, I mean long. Like really long time. Goodness gracious, this is ridiculous. how far out front these guys are. There is Moxie. He is in third. Tyler Lewis now up to fourth. So our Versus PC One to Watch doing a fantastic job. I believe that might be a lapped rider, but I am not 100% sold on that idea. Here is Devin Ryan. He might be in sixth, or he might be in fifth. Colton Mitchell, round Chase Donovan. And here is the running order across the top of the screen, so we'll see. Oh, it is Logan Leitzel running in fourth, so I was wrong. That is actually Leitzel putting together a good moto. Kyle Robb, Ben Seberg, Buitendijk, Mora, Silic. 5 guys locked together in a battle. That is a battle from 8th to 13th, and Hughes is another 11 seconds behind that. Phil Bull and Jack Zars locked in a battle. Then Jake Warden should be coming up next. He is 7 seconds behind them, and there he is. Isaiah Dickerson giving chase to him, 2 seconds back. Then Adrian Wilson coming through. Next up should be James Schuler, and there he is, getting all out of sorts. So Schuler, 5:23 goes through. Daniel Mills on the 31 comes through. Believe that might be Rasmus Eriksson coming through. And now we are outside of the normal realm of point scorers. 182. Not sure who that is. This is Reno Brennan. Been mobbing that 125 all night long, and he doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon. Harry White is outside of the points. He finished inside of the points the first moto, I believe, so he's trying to get that turned around. Oh, someone on a 125 having issues. And back to your race leader, Sean Klein. And that battle for the lead is still not over. Smith is trying to give chase. That is our Bentley Graphics run through the field. Well, one thing is for certain, Smith is not gonna let go of Klein here. He is just gonna stick right near him, make him think about him being back there, apply some pressure. Isn't blazingly fast, so I'm not too sure if he's just gonna go outright and make the pass for the lead. Obviously, if that opportunity presents itself, he might. But I think Smith is kind of just waiting for Klein to maybe make that rookie mistake here. Let the nerves get to him or something and just have a fall, tip over, crash. We saw Klein crash several times actually in the first moto, and he's still able to salvage fourth. How about Logan Leitzel though? I mean, I feel bad that I didn't know that that was him in fourth, but he's actually gonna start applying some pressure here to Jordan Moxie before long, and these guys are about 8 seconds clear of Colton Mitchell. So Leitzel's putting on a great ride right now. And as you can see in his name, he is using his friend's PC, playing in 20 FPS. Maybe he should do that more often because he is kicking some booty right now. Another good solid ride for Moxie, but that's not solid at all. What it is, it's solid on the deck. As Moxie goes down and Leitzel will go through into that third spot. Here comes Colton Mitchell jumping his way through. He is going to hip-hoppity way his through into fourth. Moxie back to fifth, and Devin Ryan and Tyler Lewis. And it's just another day at the Relaxed Tire practice track for these two. These guys have been locked together for damn near the whole moto, and Lewis our Versus PC one to watch. Good to get together with your friends though and moto down in the middle of a moto, because usually that is when you're the most comfortable. It seems like these guys are both having a lot better second moto than they did the first. So good to see the turnaround there. Devin Ryan is ahead of his teammate though, so bragging rights on the line here. Oh man, Lewis throws it down the inside. Oh, he's off the track. I can't tell if these guys are actually really racing hard with each other, if they're just kind of playing with each other. Certainly, it's a fantastic battle to watch, though. These guys are having a good little moto. And it helps a little bit that Tyler Lewis is our versus PC one to watch. So just as quickly as Devin Ryan almost lost that spot to his teammate, it seems like he's kind of found his groove a little bit again, and it hasn't pulled away, but got a gap enough so that, you know, Lewis isn't going to make something happen immediately. But never say never, that's for sure. Tyler Lewis is giving chase. This is a fantastic little soiree amongst the teammates here. Lewis sending it up the hill. Actually got a great drive, almost tripled his way through. And he's actually going to make the pass, although side by side. Oh, Lewis, that was gnarly. He was almost upside down there throwing an oppo whip. And Ryan's going to try to fight back, and then a boner air and then some scrubsies almost get together. And they're going to pass Colton Mitchell. Little cross jump from Devin Ryan, and now Lewis back down the inside makes the pass back on his teammate. Woo! That was a sick battle, and they got around Leitzel too, who's also in this mix. So Mitchell now behind these guys. We got 4 riders suddenly in a battle as Mitchell gets around Leitzel again, going through the whoops, and Lewis is trying desperately to clear his teammate. That was a sick battle. Definitely looked like towards the end of that battle they were more having fun than anything. They were doing some bike humping, scrubbing it down. But Mitchell's going to try to get through them both at this point. He's trying to make the best of this moto and crashing his way behind an epic battle between teammates. It's almost like getting behind a wall at this point. These guys riding a good defensive race against each other, and it's only going to get better as they feed off of each other and try to hold Colton Mitchell behind them. Mitchell's got a pretty good drive. I'll tell you, he has a great drive, though. Devin Ryan, he's hauling up the hill. These two have just not separated themselves from each other. Very, very close action, heading back down the hill. Mitchell's really closing in, but just when he does that, Devin Ryan ups it up a little bit more, and now he's right on Tyler Lewis. You can almost throw a blanket over these guys. And then it looks like 3 different lines being taken going through these corners. Look at that. I mean, crossover. Oh, Lewis dumps it on the inside. He's behind those hay bales. But you knew something was wrong when he didn't appear out of the other side of those hay bales, that's for sure. And Mitchell now going to try to get around Ryan. Meanwhile, Sean Klein is still leading this thing, and he's got a big old gap over Jeremy Smith now. So the mistakes that Jeremy Smith was not having all night long. Oh, Ryan double whips his way to a graveyard at the bottom of the hill back here. Ben Seberg coming through, so Seberg now finds himself into 5th. And now Lewis got back around his teammate. I think Leitzel just hit Devin Ryan, yeah. Contact. Oh my goodness, Kyle Robb is ripping around the outside of that. Woo! 2 passes in 1 right there. See if he doubles around the corner here. Trying to make some time back up on his teammate and some other people, and he's just sending it. Oh my gosh. Look at how much time he gained. And Devin Ryan isn't even in the same picture as Kyle Robb anymore. Well, now he is, but you have to be on the same picture for a little while to see him. That was gnarly. All right, let's see where things are at. Sean Klein, like I said, big old lead over Smith now. Moxie's kind of alone in 3rd, but Mitchell's only 8 seconds or so back. If that, maybe less. 5 seconds. So Mitchell could still get into 3rd here, at which point he'd be looking at a 2-3 scenario to a 4-1 scenario for Klein, so he would limit the damage in an aspect, but Klein would actually still gain a point. As they run right now, Klein is looking to pick up 3 points on the day over Mitchell. And interestingly enough, he won't even win the overall. Neither of these guys will at this point. We are approaching that 30-minute mark. Awful quick, though. And Klein, 29 minutes over the line, so 3 laps to go. At Washougal in the 250 class. Let's try to find ourselves a battle. Hey, look, the teammates are locked up together. The Relax Attire Suzuki guys. And they are bringing with them Logan Leitzel, and I think Michael Boytendijk is off the back here. Yes, he is. So we got a little 4-rider train here. Leitzel was running as high as 3rd at one point. I'm sure he's still pumped just to be running inside of the top 10. And he's going to watch these two guys continue battling as Devin Ryan scrubs down the triple. He's got a good line around the outside he was trying to get of his teammate, but man, oh man, Tyler Lewis is sending it into those ruts every lap. Trying to keep Devin Ryan at bay, though. This is a battle for 7th. Boytendijk has gotten around Leitzel, who must have gone down because he's about 10 seconds back, and Devin Ryan has got to run down the right side of the hill. And they're almost cross-jumping into each other. What I was about to say, though, is Seberg is right in front of them. So it could be a battle for 6th before long. And these guys split lines. He's got a good run for Devin Ryan. Ooh, they both kind of stack up in the corner, though. And Devin Ryan is having some serious lag issues. He's Magic Manning his way to the finish line. Like I said, though, Seberg not too far ahead of these guys. This could be a good battle here for 6th before long. Ooh, Lewis stands it up in a corner. Here comes Ryan again. And Boytendijk has lost touch with these guys. So again, really this is like our only real battle inside of the top 10, and it's about to be another 3-way battle with these two guys catching another rider. It's pretty sick, though, that not only are they railing right now and riding very quickly and inside of the top 10, but they're kind of throwing down, too. There's been a couple times we saw Lewis get almost backwards on the road jump. They scrub it down going up Horsepower Hill every lap. I'm liking it. This is rad. And at this point, I would definitely believe they're catching Seberg. I mean, Seberg is not riding bad for sure, but these two pushing each other, pushing the pace a little bit. Gotta be closing up on Seberg at least a little bit, no? Although maybe Lewis having a couple mistakes and Ryan having to react to those mistakes could be hurting them as well. Oh man, I thought Ryan was gonna just rail around the outside. Maybe here. He's got a good run down the hill. Not quite it. Wow, they both kind of did the exact same thing there. They like slid around. And it's amazing how many times... Oh, Seberg down at the base of the screen there, so they're going to get back around him. I'm going to say it's amazing how many times it looks like they're just going to cross-jump each other and smash in the air, and then they don't. Lewis getting backwards again. And Ryan's still giving chase. Let's see if they are catching Kyle Robb at all. Robb might crash here. You never know. And Robb... Well, he's going to crash right here. You never know. So they're going to get back around Robb. And suddenly this battle is for 5th. And it continues to rage on. It's the never-ending battle of the teammates. Lewis got a great drive through the whoops that time, though. Actually extended that gap just a little bit now. And not quite white flag yet, but it's going to be white flag next time by. And top 4 seems to be pretty well set. Oh, we lost Lewis. He must have gone down just as I switch away. How about Boytendijk, though? Rider out of Belgium, I believe. Trying to chase down Kyle Robb, who just got up from that crash. Lewis giving chase behind that. Leitzel's still inside of the top 10, so like I said, he's probably stoked. He definitely did not have the first moto he wanted, I can tell you that much. Seberg, Donovan. Interestingly that Donovan got a much better start this second moto, but probably is going to have a worse finish to show for it. Mora, Zar's getting up from a crash. Hughes, whole shot this moto, but went backwards fairly quickly. And Phil Bull trying to give chase to him. Let's see if I can find any close battles here. But I can find is Sean Klein taking the white flag, though. And like I said, at the very least, he's picking up a point over Colton Mitchell on the day, which is good for the championship. Just any points that he can gain helps. But right now, it looks like he's going to pick up 3 points in the championship. And coming down to the wire here with only 3 rounds to go, those 3 points today could mean a lot when we get to the final round in Indiana. And, I mean, only like a month away now. It's going to be a good one between those two. Smith all alone, still running in second. Mitchell, like I said, does have a shot to get Moxie, though. And that would cut that points gain for Klein today down to just 1 point. And that could be a big swing. You know, that 1 point differential. Well, there's really 2 points that Mitchell would gain rather than the 2 points he is currently losing. That could help. Never know. Definitely not going to give up without trying. Oh, Ryan ends up backwards in the whoop. Somehow able to save that as Rob goes through into the top 5. And Boyendijk is trying to get by, but a lapper comes back on and collides with him. And then Lewis goes head over heels in the whoop. So the chaos continues to ensue outside of the top 4 guys here. I don't think I can see Colton Mitchell getting all the way up there, though. He could, maybe. If he doubles on the last lap around that big double, maybe. He's got a chance, but he's not close enough yet. For what it's worth, Moxie has put on a great ride, pretty much under pressure, because Mitchell got about this close maybe 5 laps ago. Moxie opened it up a little bit. Now Mitchell's kind of closed it back down. Either way, it is going to be a day for Sean Klein to remember, at least in this championship hunt. If he wants to win this championship, he's going to have to keep taking more and more points away from Colton Mitchell. And he's not going to win the overall today, but it's a start. And a 4-1 performance on the day as Sean Klein wins 250 Moto 2 at Washougal and will pick up at least 1 point in the championship towards Colton Mitchell. Probably 3, but we'll have to see if Mitchell is able to get Moxie or not. He is close, and he is probably going to send this double around the corner. Here he goes. Let's see if he gets it clean. He does, and Moxie went down, so it doesn't even matter. How did Moxie end up going down there? And look at how close Mitchell's going to get to Smith before the end here. Man, he almost got him. But how about that? Mitchell able to get 3rd. He goes 2-3. It ends up 3rd overall and only loses 1 point in the championship today. Moxie probably kicking himself. But, I mean, what was he going to do? I mean, Mitchell just jumped right over him. Kyle Robb still sending this thing on the last lap and still getting it smooth as butter. Devin Ryan looks like he's going to pick up a 6 for his efforts. So great battle between him and his teammate Tyler Lewis, and a 6th place is much better this time around for Devin Ryan than that first moto. Boyendijk, though, maybe a star of this moto, coming from across the seas to pick up a 7th here, 250 Moto 2 at Washougal. Tyler Lewis, our versus PC one to watch, and boy did he put on a show for us in this one with his teammate. 8th place for the 46 machine. Leitzel will hold off Seberg and Donovan to the line to get 9th. Donovan 11th. Seberg 10th. Mora looks like he is going to Mark Manea front flip his way off the track and lose a spot to Jonathan Hughes, except Jonathan Hughes tries to low line 360 his way through the track. So that's going to be more able to hold on there. And that's going to be for 12th. Hughes looking at 13th. Phil Bull looking at 14th. Jack Zar's looking at 15th. And Thomas Sillick looking at 16th. Maybe, though, Jake Warden is trying to put on one final charge. Might say it's not over until the 450 gate drops. Cuts could still come into factor. Sillick is going to send the double just in case, and it's going to hurt him. Oh my gosh, how did he stay on the bike? He still has to deal with Warden, though, who's coming around and maybe makes the pass. They're both going to get Zars, who's down in the final corner. Oh, to the line. Sillick's got to drive. Warden's trying to pull alongside, but Sillick is going to beat him to the line by 0.1. Oh, and Warden gets him on cuts. Just like that. Woo, man. Alrighty, so Jeremy Smith, he goes 1-2 on the day, wins your overall. Sean Klein, 4-1, picks up 1 championship point towards Colton Mitchell. And Mitchell going 2-3 on the day will round out your podium. That is the 250 class from Washougal. But do not touch the URL bar, my friends. We have the 450 class coming right up after this. And I'll see you guys on the other side of this quick break. Thanks for watching the 250 Motos, though, from Washougal.